Starting with the best weapon for a ultra aggressive playstyle, we have the R90. Despite it being the most aggressive weapon on the list, it also does have a fair amount of versatility. Next up is the Fennec SMG. Now, if you want to play a ultra aggressive playstyle, but don't like using a shotgun and instead want to go with something a little bit more versatile, the Fennec is a great option. But if the Fennec's recoil is a little too hard for you to control and you want to have something that is a little bit more effective at the mid-range, granted not an AR or anything, but still a little bit more effective at mid-range, you can go with the Switchblade with this build right here. Also, I want to take a moment right now to thank Kith because I did steal quite a few of his builds inside of this list. A few of them I also modified, but still I want to give him a shout out because he is a great stats YouTuber and his content was very helpful for me while making this list. Next up is the most versatile SMG in the game. If you do want to have the high mobility stats of an SMG but still be able to use it at more mid-ranges where you're going to be encountering AR and LMG players, the CBR4 is going to be your best bet. I will say the Bison is also amazing, but I am giving this spot to the CBR4. Then getting into the ARs, we're going to be starting it off with the Krig 6. Now this is pretty much just the best gun in the game. I think everyone agrees. And when I say the best gun in the game, again, I am saying it is the most versatile weapon in the game, considering depending on how you build it, you could play it however you want. It does lean more into the aggressive side though, because it is closer to an SMG than it is like, you know, an LMG or sniper. But again, it lies pretty much in the perfect spot in the middle. And if you want a very versatile build that will get the job done at any range, honestly, you can't go wrong with the Krig. I also want to mention that a lot of these builds do have red dots on it because I am assuming that most of you don't have the mythical versions with the nicest iron sights. So the sights are interchangeable depending on how comfortable you are with the blueprint or the base iron sights that you have. Next up is going to be the Kilo 141. Now the build that I'm showing you right now is more on the versatile, kind of aggressive side, but you can also build the Kilo 141 to be a very slow tactical LMG type weapon, like we saw Tectonic do in the COD Mobile World Finals, where he was able to drop nearly 60 kills against the second best team in the world. 60 kills in a hardpoint, absolutely mind-boggling. The only reason I didn't build the Kilo like that is because there's another weapon coming up later in the list that is basically the Kilo when you make it like an LMG. You guys will see soon. But speaking of LMGs, the next weapon that we have is going to be the Chopper, specifically with the heavy handle. Now this is a really fun run and gun type weapon, but when I say run and gun, you do have to keep in mind that it is an LMG. So it's more like running to like head glitches and holding angles and then like pushing into their spawn, not necessarily, you know, rounding corners and taking SMG type fights. Again, it is an LMG, but there's just something about it that makes it really fun to get aggressive and push into people's spawn with. But again, it does have those LMG traits that allow it to dominate at more of a mid to long range. After the Chopper, we have the only sniper on the list, and a lot of people are going to be surprised about this, and you're going to have to hear me out, but we have the Locust. Now, I can already hear you DLQ fanboys absolutely destroying my comment section right now, but hear me out. With the Locust, you can put stopping power on it and basically make it a slightly worse DLQ, and then if you take stopping power off, you have a faster version of the DLQ. And for me, when I snipe, it's all really a feeling thing. I have to be able to get into a flow, and I'm able to do that better if I just kind of am having one weapon that I use, and I just adjust that one attachment based on how I'm feeling, as opposed to, you know, maybe it's going DLQ, and then if I'm feeling super accurate, being like, oh, but now I want to have a faster sniper and then having to switch. I like just having that one sniper I can grind and, you know, get diamond on and all that and keep it isolated to one. But still, DLQ is absolutely amazing. You can absolutely use that if you want. Definitely the best sniper if you're playing S&D and being more tactical. But for me, again, the versatility of the Locust, I love it. Now, after the Locust, we have another sniper type weapon. This one's actually a marksman, but it is the SKS. Now, the SKS is arguably the best weapon in the entire game in the right hands, but it also is arguably the hardest gun to use in the game, especially when you're playing against players that know how to have good movement. But that obviously didn't stop Lucas from Team Inco from Brazil from absolutely dominating with this weapon throughout the entire World Championship. I've never seen someone be so consistent with a weapon that is so hard to be consistent with. But yeah, I would definitely try out this weapon and see how you do with it. But again, it is not a forgiving weapon considering how slow it shoots and just the fact that it's a marksman rifle. You know, if you don't have a full auto, it's going to be hard to get the full use out of it unless your aim is on point. But the build that you are seeing right now on your screen is the build that Lucas used throughout the World Championship and dropped multiple 50+ kill games. It was insane. And for our final spot on this list as the best passive build that you can use, we have a Holger build. Now, again, this one was tough for me because like the Kilo and the Holger are kind of the same, kind of not. You can build them to be very similar, so they're very interchangeable for me. But I wanted to have the Holger be on the list because it is such a great weapon. So I decided to build it as a very passive type weapon and put it as our final spot. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this very quick video. Hopefully you guys were able to find some builds that you enjoyed. Let me know also what builds I may have missed. And with that being said, I will see you guys later.